Well, good morning to you, Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member Pallone, members of the committee. It is good to be with you today, and I appreciate the opportunity to discuss these matters that you've raised. There is consequential and important work being done at the EPA since the beginning of the Trump administration, both in terms of improved environmental outcomes as well as substantial regulatory reform. We are stripping burdensome costs from the American economy at an unprecedented pace, and we are doing this while inspiring confidence in the American people that it is government going to work with them as opposed to against them to achieve harmony between jobs and growth and environmental stewardship. In the short time of the Trump administration, we've made enormous progress as far as improved environmental outcomes. These are just a few. We have removed over 3 times the number of polluted sites of contaminated communities across the country as compared to the previous administration for 2017. And for 2018, we are on pace to remove as many as 10 times the number of polluted sites. We are working cooperatively with the states to improve air quality through the approval of 350 state improvement plans. And with regard to water, we are leading a multi-agency approach that has set a goal of eradicating lead from our drinking water within 10 years, largely through the utilization of a tool that you provided, WIFIA. It is my goal to prioritize applications for critical water infrastructure over the next 10 years to hopefully see $4 billion a year dedicated to the replacement of lead service lines in order to reduce lead in our drinking water. President Trump has set an ambitious goal for the EPA under his administration, and our measurable achievements are a testament to the effectiveness which a results-driven EPA can achieve. President Trump did not only task us with accomplishing the core mission of the EPA acting more efficiently and effectively than ever before, he also demanded comprehensive regulatory reform. That transformational change is happening. In just 1 year, the Trump administration has saved the American people almost $8 billion in regulatory savings. And the EPA alone is responsible for nearly 24 regulatory actions, saving Americans $1 billion of that $8 billion in regulatory cost. These actions are providing America's job creators with the regulatory clarity they deserve. By repealing and replacing the so-called Clean Power Plan, we are ending a one-size-fits-all regulation on energy providers and restoring rule of law. By rescinding and rewriting the 2015 Waters of the United States rule, we are ending Washington's power grab over land use decisions across the country. It is indisputable that we have made enormous progress in advancing President Trump's reform agenda and pruning back decades of regulatory overreach that was unnecessary, burdensome, and ultimately harmful to hardworking Americans across the country. When the President nominated me to this position, I believe the work was going to be impactful, and it has been, and tremendous progress has been made. But I did not expect the work to be easy, and I knew there would be meaningful opposition. However, as I sit before you today, I recognize there have been very troubling media reports over the past few weeks. I promise you that I, more than anyone, want to establish the hard facts and provide answers to questions surrounding these reports. Let me be very clear. I have nothing to hide as it relates to how I've run the agency for the past 16 months. I'm not afraid to admit that there's been a learning process, and when Congress or independent bodies of oversight find fault in our decision-making, I want to correct that and ensure that it does not happen again. Ultimately, as the administrator of the EPA, the responsibility for identifying and making changes necessary rests with me and no one else. With that being said, facts are facts and fiction is fiction, and a lie doesn't become truth just because it appears on the front page of a newspaper. Much of what has been targeted towards me and my team has been half-truths or at best stories that have been so twisted that they do not resemble reality. And I'm here, and I welcome the chance to be here, to set the record straight in these areas. But let's have no illusions about what was really going on here. Those who have attacked the EPA and attacked me are doing so because they want to attack and derail the President's agenda and undermine this administration's priorities. I'm simply not going to let that happen. I look forward to your questions today, and thank you, Mr. Chairman.